everyone, and welcome to the XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm so excited to be here live in the Adobe Studios and to be in lovely San Francisco. So let's see who's joining us today in the Behance chat. Hi Mark, Antonio, Rick, Eric, Alex. Nice to see you guys. Good morning. All right, so today is day number 5 in the challenge. And before we get into that, I just want to quickly go over what the XD Daily Creative Challenge is all about and the different ways that you can participate, just in case this is your first time tuning in. So the XD Daily Creative Challenge is a really great way for you to practice UI design and prototyping right in Adobe XD. So whether you're a beginner, maybe you're a graphic designer looking to transition into UI design, whatever the case, it's just a really great way for you to practice, and you'll also have some really great pieces to add to your Behance portfolio. So in addition to tuning into the live show from 8:30 to 9 a.m. Pacific, we also have a Slack channel that you can join. So if you go to the URL floating above my head, that's our Slack channel. So I'm just going to quickly give you a tour. So I'm going to head on over to my screen. So first thing you're going to want to do when you join our Slack channel is introduce yourself. So tell us where you're from, of course your name, that's always nice to know. So every morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we post the daily challenge and also a downloadable XD file, just so you can follow along with the challenge under the announcements channel. And we also have a design feedback channel. So if you want some very valuable feedback on your designs, definitely post it here. Everyone is super friendly and you'll get some very valuable feedback. And finally, the Help General channel, that's just where if you have a more technical question, you're definitely gonna wanna post it under the Help General channel. So that's just an overview of our Slack channel. For this challenge, we are using the keyword XD Daily Challenge. So I encourage you to upload your work to Behance, and then you hit the Discoverability tab and use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. That way we can find your designs, and I also like to feature your work live on the show. So that's just an overview of what the XD Daily Creative Challenge is all about and the different ways that you can participate. So now let's just head on over to our XD template file and start day number 5's challenge. Okay, so this is what the template looks like. So as you can see, we have our information here. So for today, we will be prototyping a messaging mobile app inspired by Facebook Messenger. So on the left-hand side, we have some screenshots of Facebook Messenger, and I also included some screenshots of a tutorial that I've done on my YouTube channel, Exopixel with 2 L's on YouTube. So definitely feel free to check that out if you want some more inspiration. But of course, our app, we're kind of modeling it after Facebook Messenger and just, I guess, a little take on it. So below we have some suggested color schemes, of course. So feel free to be as creative as you'd like. And of course, some additional resources. You can get profile photos at a really great site called Diverse UI. Stock photography at Adobe Stock, really awesome. And it's totally fine if you use a photo with a watermark. And then of course, I have a link to my video tutorial. So feel free to check that out. Okay, so let's get started. And as always, I have my design outline here if you just want to take a quick peek at what we'll be covering today. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is name my artboards. So this first artboard, I'm going to name Messages Screen. And the second artboard, I'm going to name it Chat Screen. So for time's sake, I've already pre-built my header area, so I'm just gonna head on over to the symbols library and drag and drop it onto my artboard. Just gonna remove this and place it here. And just in case you're wondering where I got all my UI elements, I got the iOS status bar by using the free Apple iOS kit that comes with Adobe XD. So all you need to do is go to File, Get UI Kits, Apple iOS, and you can download a free UI kit provided by Apple and all their UI elements you can utilize. Also for the navigation icon and the search icon, again, File, Get UI Kit's wireframes, and the wireframe UI Kit has some really awesome wireframes that you can use for your designs. Okay, so now that I have my header and of course my toolbar or navigation area, I'm gonna add some color to it. So the primary color I'll be using for this design is a really nice purple. So I'm just going to select the background of our header area, and I'm gonna go into the assets panel and select the color, just like that. And just keep in mind, you have to select the actual color square and not this whole area in order to apply the color. So let's color the nav area. There we go. Okay, so now that we've colored our header and navigation, it's time to move on to our messages area. So as you can see, I have a placeholder that's just essentially a rectangle, and this is where we're gonna put our photos. And then this is where we'll put the contact's name and a message preview text. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just gonna double click this because this is a group. So I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna hit T on my keyboard to grab the type tool. And I'm going to write just a fictitious name. So Aaron Smith. And I already have some character styles that I will be applying to the text. So I'm just going to select this text, and in my character styles, I'm going to select my contact name character style. So now I'm just gonna hit Command D on my keyboard to duplicate the text. And I'm gonna just write a message preview. So, hey, what's up? And I'm going to apply a character style for the messages preview, like that. So of course, to make sure everything is aligned, I'm just gonna select them both and move it around. And Adobe XD has a really neat feature where it, automatically, it displays guides automatically. There we go. Okay, so now that we have our text, it's time to select this group area, and I'm just gonna hit Command R to activate the repeat grid, which is definitely a favorite amongst XD users. So I'm gonna activate the repeat grid. Just gonna drag it down so we have several messages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. And I'm just going to reduce the padding. So just by hovering over in between each object, you can just adjust padding like that. So I think 5 is a good amount. All right. So now that I've extended the messages, I'm also going to extend our artboard. So again, just by selecting the artboard title, just going to extend it up until our last message here. Just gonna zoom in to make sure it's flush. There we go. Okay. So now that we've set up our repeat grid, it's time to drag and drop some text files and images. So I have a folder with a bunch of photos that I got from Diverse UI. So I'm just going to grab around 11 photos because it looks like we have 11 messages here. There we go. There we go. So photos are automatically populated when you drag and drop multiple images from a folder. So I also have a bunch of random names. So I'm also going to drag and drop this text file with the random names onto the text area in our repeat grid. There we go. And finally, I have some preview messages in a text file here. So I'm just going to drag it onto the repeat grid. So really quickly, I'm just going to edit this And I'm going to actually draw a text box just to make sure that the text doesn't go beyond the size that I've created for the text box. So let me just really quickly, oops. There we go. So now I'm going to drag and drop this text. And now all of our text is automatically populated onto our repeat grid. And again, what I did was I actually grabbed the text tool and I dragged out a text box. Again, that way the text is contained within the size of the text box instead of just selecting or just clicking and then writing text like that. Okay, so now that we have our messages all designed, I'm also going to draw a line onto this first message, and that's just to indicate that this first message, there's a current or an active chat with, I guess, an unread message. So I'm gonna hit L on my keyboard to grab the line tool. Just gonna draw a line. And in the assets panel, I'm going to select our accent color, which is this really nice yellow. And I'm in the property inspector in the appearance section, I'm just going to increase the size to 5, just so it stands out even more. And there we go. So this yellow line, again, it just indicates that there is, I guess, an unread message and it's, you know, an active chat that's going on. Okay, so one more thing to add to our messages screen. I'm also going to add a messages button. So in my symbols library, I'm just going to drag and drop this button, and I'm gonna position it in the bottom right-hand side of our screen here. And this is super easy for you to recreate. So all you need to do is I'm just gonna grab the ellipses tool. So I'm gonna hit E on my keyboard, gonna hold Shift while I'm drawing this circle, gonna remove the border, apply our accent color. I'm going to enable shadow. And then I have this really nice mail icon that I got from the wireframe UI kit. So I'm just gonna place it right onto our button, and there we go. So it's super easy for you to recreate. Okay, so this is our messages screen. So now let's head on over to our chat screen. So again, for time's sake, I've already kind of built the header area for a chat screen. So in my symbols library, I'm just going to grab the header and I'm gonna place it onto our chat screen. So as you can see, it says full name, but we want to put a real name. So since this is our active chat, I'm going to use this name here. So John Barkley. There we go. And I'm also going to color it our primary color. So now that we have our header designed, it's time to color and also add some elements to our actual active chat area. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this first speech bubble here, and I'm going to color it our primary color. I'm going to select the second, and I'm going to color it this dark gray color. So now I am going to add some fictitious text just to make this chat a little more believable. So I'm going to actually copy the text from our message preview, and I'm just going to paste it here. So as you can see, obviously the text is way too large. So I have a character style that I'm just going to apply to this text. So now I'm going to hit T on my keyboard and I'm going to draw a text box and I'm going to fill it with some more fictitious text. So, oops. So this was right off the top of my head. Okay, so I'm going to again apply our character style to this text. And of course, make sure it's aligned. There we go. Let's see what this looks like a little smaller. Let me add some line height. Just gonna apply that. Okay, so now that we have some, fictitious text, I'm also going to select them both, and I'm going to activate the repeat grid just to add some more messages. So again, just going to add some padding, and I'm also going to add a timestamp. So let's just put the time. Oops. And I have a timestamp character style that I will apply. And let me align this to the center of our artboard. All right. So last thing we're gonna do is just add some photos here. So I'm going to open my folder and I'm gonna grab the image of our first contact here, put it in this object. And I'm gonna grab just a random image. I think this is a good one. And add the photo. And as you can see, we have the, user icon, so let's just delete that. And the beauty with the repeat grid is if you have multiples of that object within the repeat grid, it automatically updates. So we only need to do it once to remove it from both chats. All right, so last thing we're gonna do is just add some color to our text input area. So just going to select this rectangle. And as you can see, it's just a border, there's no fill. And I'm gonna show you how you can apply color to just the border in the assets panel. So if you just select the color here, our primary color, it's gonna add it as a fill. But a neat little trick to just apply it to the border is to right click on the color and select apply as border. And that way just the border has the color. So now I'm going to select this text, color it purple, and also our button. And there we go. So that's how you design the messages screen and chat screen. Really quickly, I'm gonna show you how you can prototype this. So I'm going to select our navigation area and select fixed position when scrolling, and also our header area. And I'm gonna do this for both, or just this screen, because this is the screen that's gonna be scrolling. I'm also going to select the new messages button and enable fixed position when scrolling. And just to make sure that the header and navigation are above the messages area in regards to the layers order, I'm going to select them both, and also our new messages button, and I'm going to press Command Shift right bracket to bring everything forward or to the front. So now I'm going to switch over to prototype mode, and I'm going to select this first message area. And I'm gonna wire it to our chat screen. And I'm also going to select our text area here, and I'm gonna wire it to our keyboard. So I'm gonna select overlay, and I'm gonna set transition to slide up and duration to 0.2 seconds. And I'm also going to select the back arrow, and I'm gonna wire it to our messages screen artboard. And I'm gonna set duration to 0.2 seconds. And really quickly, just back over to design mode, make sure scrolling is set to vertical and the viewport height is, I guess, the length of the original artboard, so not where the extension occurred. So just gonna reduce this to 600 and make sure that the viewport height is just at the bottom of our navigation here. All right, so let's hit desktop preview to see what that looks like. Okay, let me make sure that this was selected. Maybe it's, okay. So I ungrouped the symbol, and I'm just going to, again, enable fixed position when scrolling. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. Great, and if we click this, it goes on to our chat screen. And then if we click our text area, our keyboard pops up, which is really neat. And then back. Oop. Let's change this to dissolve. Let me see. Good, good. Great. And then this scrolls. All right, so that's how we design and prototype a messaging app. Hopefully you learned some cool tips and tricks in XD, in addition to, of course, our messaging app. So really quickly, be sure to upload your work to Behance and use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. Really quickly, I'm gonna show you how to do that. Just select the artboard that we just prototyped, click the sharing icon, and then select Publish Prototype. We're gonna create a public link, and then we are going to select this code snippet here, copy embed code. And over in XD, when you hit create a project, all you need to do is select this embed icon to embed the code that we got. Just gonna hit embed, and then our prototype is embedded into our Behance project. And again, make sure you use the keyword XD Daily Challenge. That way I can find your work and hopefully feature it on the show. All right, so thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's challenge. I can't wait to see your work on Behance and of course on our Slack channel, because that's where I will be after the show. Just gonna quickly pull up our schedule for the day. So definitely be sure to tune into the Getting Started with XD show with Howard Pinsky. He's gonna give you a take on today's challenge, his own version of our messaging app. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.